Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hidden Video Game Details, the series that aims to show you things that you may not have known about your favourite games so that you can look really clever in front of your friends. In today's video we fake our death in Ace Combat 7, we take the time to admire our good looks in Dying Light, and we test our fitness in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. As always, if you think you know of a detail that I'm yet to cover, then the best places to let me know are in the comments section or on my social media accounts. The links, as always, are in the description. Oh, and leaving a like on any of my videos always makes me that little bit happier. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So first up, let's begin with Rocket League. Now, given the fast-paced nature of Rocket League, you've probably never had the time to appreciate some of the smaller details hidden in the football car simulator, and that's where I come in. First up, you may not have known that the tail lights on the Zippy have a face on them. This face belongs to Carl Ched, the QA manager at Psyonix Studios, who are of course the developers of Rocket League. The other detail from Rocket League can be seen when using the money rocket boost. If you zoom in on one of the notes, you can see that the face on the money is that of a pufferfish. Now, regular viewers will recognise this pufferfish as the same one that can be found hidden out of bounds on the Aquadome map. This pufferfish was originally going to be a power-up in another Psyonix game called Crash Course, but that game was cancelled and eventually became Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket-Powered Battle Cars, which was the prequel to Rocket League. Still, it's nice to see Psyonix respecting their humble beginnings. Now of course, I'm probably only scratching the surface of what there is to find in Rocket League, so if you have any suggestions, then please let me know. Next up are more cool weapon animations from Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. First up is the Alien Infestation M16, which, when inspected, does this. The next cool mastercraft from Cold War is the music legend FFAR, which, when inspected, will do this. Now, I know that these mastercraft inspections won't impress everyone, but I just find them really cool and thought that they were worth sharing. The final detail from Cold War isn't a mastercraft weapon, but it is an unlockable cosmetic. One of the many unlockable watches in Cold War is the Life Reading Watch. The Life Reader is a functioning heart rate monitor that will actually change to reflect what's happening in game. For example, here is the resting heart rate of a soldier. And here is the same soldier's heart rate after sprinting across the map. Oh, and as you'd expect, getting shot also sees your soldier's heart rate spike. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it is still pretty cool. So not only is Resident Evil Village an excellent game, it also gave the world Lady Dimitrescu, the vampire lady that launched 1,000 memes and probably made hundreds of thousands of people feel a certain kind of way. A big part of Lady Dimitrescu's appeal to many was her size. Standing at approximately 9 feet 6 inches, she certainly is an intimidating presence. But even if you hadn't seen her before, there is a way of telling that she was on the tall side. Take a closer look at the stairs in Castle Dimitrescu's dungeon, and tell me if you notice anything interesting. So of course the stairs are pretty beat up after years of use. What's interesting though is that every third step has been worn more than the rest. This is because Lady D is so damn tall that she skips a step when climbing the stairs. It's a really cool detail and one that I'm hoping a lot of you didn't notice. So one of the perks of creating this series is that I get to play games that I wouldn't usually play. Now of course some of the games that I have to play for these videos aren't great, but every once in a while I discover something pretty cool. One of those games is Ace Combat 7. The first Ace Combat game was released all the way back in 1995, with the most recent entry into the series being 2019's Ace Combat 7. So it's kinda crazy that I haven't played a single game in the series before. Now, perhaps naively, the one thing that I wasn't expecting from Ace Combat was a gripping story. but that's what you can find in Ace Combat 7, with loads of interesting, strange and often funny characters communicating with you as you rule the skies. Well, during Mission 6, you're tasked with taking out some ground targets. If you decide to take a break from raining terror from above and test your piloting skills by flying through a tunnel, your teammates will say this.
No, we got a fire! Trigger crashed. Trolling an idiot. No, we flew into a tunnel. It's crazy.
So it's assumed that you crashed into the mountain. However, the record is soon set straight with someone informing him that we flew into the tunnel instead. Now, you don't actually need to fly through the tunnel to complete this mission, so the fact that this dialogue was added for those that did is really cool. Up next is Doom 64. Now, Doom 64, much like many of the other entries in the series, is a fast-paced shooter, where taking cover isn't really an option, and your best chance of success is tackling the enemies head-on. Of course, doing this will result in you getting shot. A lot. Well, lucky for you, dotted around the levels are medikits that will restore your health. Here is what happens when you pick up one of those medikits. So a message informs you that you picked up the medikit. It's pretty basic stuff. Well, here is what happens if you pick up a medikit whilst you have below 20 health. So the message will change, telling you that you picked up a medikit that you really needed. It's a really nice touch. So the final game for today's video is the brilliant Dying Light. Now, with the recent announcement of a release date for Dying Light 2, I decided to hop back into Dying Light to try and quench my thirst for zombie slaying parkour action. Now, in a previous episode of this series, we covered the fact that virals will sometimes still show signs of being human due to the fact that they've only recently changed, which is kind of cool, but also kind of creepy. No! Please! No! Well, the first detail from Dying Light actually involves one of the game's trailers. In the Run Boy Run trailer, we get to see what happened before Crane's arrival in Haran. In the trailer, we get to see Brecken, who, after evading the many obstacles of Haran, is knocked out with a cricket bat. Well, in the game, you can find Brecken, who is seen wearing a bandage due to his bonk on the head. Now, I love it when the events of trailers are actually shown in game, so if you know of any more moments like this in any other game, then please let me know. So, in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, the last thing that you're going to care about is your appearance. I mean, I barely make an effort during a normal day, so if there's zombies outside, you best believe I'm keeping my pyjamas on and not leaving the house. Well, for the more fashion-conscious survivors among you, you'll be pleased to know that you can do this. So certain weapons in game will show Crane's reflection. Let's ignore the fact that it doesn't correctly show the outfit I'm wearing and appreciate Crane's rugged good looks. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. Remember, if you're a fan of Easter eggs, secrets and tiny details in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.